Alright, buckle up, folks. Today we're going to take a little journey into the world of perspective and perception. Now, I know those two words might sound like cousins who went to the same family reunion and never quite got along, but trust me, they are super important to understanding how we see the world and how we make sense of it. Let's start by unpacking what these two terms actually mean. Perspective is how we see things based on our experiences, beliefs, knowledge, and the angle from which we look. Think of it like the viewpoint of a photographer. They might take a picture of the same object from different angles, and suddenly it looks totally different. That's perspective. It's the big picture, the context, the wide-angle lens that shapes our understanding. Now, perception, on the other hand, is how we interpret what we see. It's not just about what's in front of us, it's about how our brain processes and assigns meaning to what's there. Your perception is colored by your emotions, past experiences, biases, and sometimes just how tired you are that day. You ever look at a plate of spaghetti and suddenly it feels like you're looking at a tangled mess of fate? That's perception for you. Let me give you a little example that combines both. Picture this. You're walking through a park on a chilly Saturday morning. You see a guy sitting on a bench, staring at the sky. Now, you could be that the guy is just enjoying the view. Maybe he's meditating or contemplating life's big questions like, why are pizza slices always triangle-shaped? That's your big picture neutral take on things. But that's where it gets spicy. You might think, oh, he's totally lost in thought, or maybe you get a little judgmental and think, great, here's another guy doing nothing with his life. Now, if you're feeling particularly snarky, you might even perceive him as a person who has no ambition. You've taken the same image and just flipped it upside down based on your own internal narrative. Here's where it gets interesting. Doesn't change, but can shift. You can walk by that same guy a second time and think, hey, maybe he's just taking a break. He's been working hard all week and needs to recharge. Same person, same park bench, different. See how it works? Now here's the cool thing about perspective. You can change it. You don't have to stay stuck in one way of thinking, even when life's problems seem as endless as the laundry pile in your house. There's always room to shift how you see things. If you're stuck in traffic and all you see is a bunch of frustrated drivers, your perception is that everyone's having a terrible day. But what if you shift your perspective just a little? Maybe those same drivers are stressed, sure, but maybe they're also thinking, hey, I have an extra 15 minutes to catch up on my favorite podcast. Suddenly that traffic jam doesn't feel like the end of the world. And let's be real, if you've ever been in a bad mood and thought the universe was conspiring against you, you know exactly how it works. It's like wearing a pair of mood goggles that make everything seem worse than it actually is. But my friends, you can take those goggles off. All it takes is a slight change in your perspective, and suddenly, that dark cloud hovering over your head might just turn into a little sunbeam. Here's a quick exercise you can try. Next time you're feeling like the world is working against you, ask yourself, what's another way I could look at this? Is that a traffic jam, or is it an opportunity to listen to that audiobook you've been meaning to finish? Is that person who cut you off in line being rude, or maybe they just really need to use the bathroom? We've all been there, right? Here's the kicker, is the way forward. You're in control of it. Life may not always give you a perfect view, but it gives you the ability to adjust your lens. You have the power to zoom out, refocus, and see the bigger picture. And when you realize that, you start to understand that how you see the world can make a massive difference in how you experience it. Let's be honest, sometimes life throws curveballs, and it's easy to get stuck in a reactive mindset. But when you practice shifting your perspective, you begin to stop reacting and start responding. The next time someone cuts you off in traffic or spills coffee on your favorite shirt, it happens to the best of us, you'll have a choice. It is the worst thing ever, or and think, hey, I still have a pretty good day ahead of me, I'll laugh it off. And you'll laugh it off, trust me. To wrap this up, remember, is your superpower. It's like the one thing that no one can take away from you. And, well, that's your personal filter on life. You don't always have to trust it, but you can always choose to adjust it. So let's make a pact, right here and right now. The next time you find yourself caught up in the mess, pause, take a step back, change the angle. And remember, life's too short to keep wearing those mood goggles all the time. Let's see things for what they be, not just for what they seem to be. Alright, go out there, shift your perspective, and show the world that you can look at anything with a fresh pair of eyes. Or at least with a sense of humor. You've got this.